my fellow followers, YouTubers. Tonight, I want to talk to you about this movie that's coming out in 2021, what its guarantees are, and where we're going from here. Over the past 2.5 years, ever since I made my first video on YouTube on the 28th of May 2018, what began as a peaceful acknowledgement on my channel, a peaceful video against the regimes of Bashar. Then, from now, Al-Assad is, from last movie and the movie before, and this one turned into a brutal civil war. Over 150 million people have been killed in these movies. Millions left the UK. Now, about how long it's been taking me to make these films. Let's start with jamie14 the movie 1. The first part was made on April 23rd, 2019. The second part of that was on, I think, on the... Actually, wait a minute, I'm gonna check. Yes, the first part was made on the 23rd of April 2019. And the second part was made on, the 30th of April 2019. Part 3 was on the 2nd of May 2019. The fourth part was on the 7th of May 2019. Part 5 was on the 8th of May 2019. Part 6 was made on the 12th of May 2019. Part 7 was released on the 14th of May 2019. The 8th part was on 15th of May 2019. Part 9 was on the 19th of May. Part 10 was on May the 21st. Part 11 was on the 22nd of May. Part 13 was the 26th of May 2019. Part 14 was on Part 14, the 28th of May. 15, the 11th of June. Part 16, the 12th of June was part 16. Part 17 was released to YouTube on the 16th of June. Now we're getting close to on the 14th of June was my 12th birthday. The 18th of June was part 18. Part 19 on 19th of June 2019, and part 20, the final part, was on the 27th of June 2019. Well, actually, it was actually released on the 28th of June 2019. That was of each 20 parts of the first movie, Down to the Earth's Core. And then, as the months passed, there was other videos of other stuff. And then we get close to jamie14 the movie 2, The Return of Adolf Hitler, the Fallen Dictator, which it took me since, well, for the first movie it took me about, I'd say about 2.5 months to work on it. The reason it took that much was because it was quite easy to do it without very many efforts. But for part 2, for jamie14 the movie 2, there was more efforts, like the voice cast. So The Return of Adolf Hitler is the title of this movie, and the first part was on the 2nd of July. It's easy. That's the second part was on the second part was on July the 7th. Part 3 was on July the 11th. Part 4 was on July the 18th. Part 5 was on August the 1st. Part 6 was on August the 11th. Part 7 was on August the 25th. Part 8 was on September the 1st. Part 9 was on September the 18th. Part 10 was on October the 16th. Part 11 was on October the 21st. Part 12 was on October the 26th. Part 13 was on November the 1st. Part 14 was on November the 8th. Part 15 was on November the 27th. And part 16, the final, was on December 11th, 2020. So that's the first and second movie. And about my jamie14 the movie 3 coming in 2021. That's this year, so Happy New Year if in that case. But since it took me ever since April the 20th, 2019 to the 28th of June 2019 for the first movie, and it took me since the 3rd of May 2020 until December the 11th, 2020 for the second one. Now, on November the 23rd of 2020, I actually started to think about plots for this movie, since the second one was nearly finished. But this one, I am actually deciding that this one's going to have more efforts than the other two voice actors and other details, especially for this third one. And we're not really sure when it's going to come out. It might have to be in parts again, but mainly because, well, who knows what will happen between now and then. But it is going to come. It will come out, so patience, if you could do that. Good, right? And remember that how in these movies, how Adolf Hitler is the villain and Mario is the star of the movie, how Hitler is the enemy. It's like he's indestructible because he was in the first one and in the second one. Because in 2018, when I was in S6, when I was in S7 of primary school in Windigowl, we started learning about World War II and about Hitler. And we found out that Hitler was the baddie, of course, because he was a bad man, killing millions of Jews in concentration camps, which is known as the Holocaust. And I was actually, because of the way how the teacher pronounced that Hitler was a very, very, very bad man, that actually caught me off guard. Because, like, ooh, he must have been very bad. And I was explained to about why Hitler was a bad man, because he didn't like Jewish people. Then it actually caught me an idea. After all, I've spent 4.5 years making videos, and ever since July 2016, I didn't have a YouTube account. But of course, I did join YouTube on the 27th of August 2014, but I didn't have a YouTube account until May the 28th, 2018. And that's when the first video of my channel was released. And when I actually started planning of movies that would be very long, very attackal, something unlike anything else. Planned that Hitler would be the baddie and that he came from the Earth's core, which is a very hot and frightening place. It's vicious, it's violent, it gives people nightmares, and it makes them jump because it's been around for billions of years, and that it's made of iron. It actually caught me off guard to that as well. So I've planned that Hitler is there and he's come back for revenge in this first one, and that he was indestructible. So he came back in the second one and he got a bigger army. And when he destroyed himself in them on the video on December 11th, 2020, he actually didn't really destroy himself. He actually fell into the sea and he was gasping for breath, and he temporarily died. Well, just who knows what will happen between now and then, but it is coming. But no spoilers until the actual date of part 1, because the cameras can't allow any videos to be an hour long, because on the 1st of April 2019 was the date of the longest video on my channel. It was about 58 minutes. That was how long the camera would allow it to be, after all, because the first one of this trilogy was about 3 hours and 20 minutes. The second one was about 5 hours. And this third one might be the longest of all, so possibly as soon as this one's done, it might be over. But who knows what will happen between now and then once again. But either way, I will start working on it soon, on the scripts and what it will be about. And next of all, let me say about the Koopalings of these movies. In the first one, they weren't there. In the second one, they were. And let me say about, this is related to the channel of Freeze Flame 22. Right now, it joined on the 26th of July 2013. On that day, on 2020, was the day I was planning for the 5th part, but there was an accident with the tablet and it had to go back, so it wasn't released until about a week later. And next of all, let me say that about Freeze Film 22's channel, when I was looking at some of the Bowser's Koopalings videos, I was like, looks a bit in relation to these attacks films. And yet, I used some of the characters in his way instead of actual Mario fandom way. And that, let me say about that, how Lemmy was a coward in this movie, especially in the bit where he had accidentally blown up Burnt Ireland in part 9, but one of Hitler's engines, William, who was the 264 4MT Bachmann locomotive, I've had him for 3 years, possibly. Actually, I've had that tank engine for 3.5 years. And he was one of Hitler's devil engines, as I directed. And let me say that about how Lemmy was a coward in Jamie14 the movie to actually, it's a bit different from this one, and between the third one, Free, coming this year. And I'm actually predicting that Larry is the coward of this one, like he's definitely something like that in Freeze Flame 22's channel, of course. And second of all, about this step, about how Wendy is the comforter for them. For example, in most of them, especially in the murder mystery one, which is a Halloween special for 2018, when Larry was a bit and worry, and Wendy could see that, and I actually thought that something in relation to that, and I actually took some notice on it, and then I had predicted it into my caliphate and something like that. Yet, plus, it's gonna be a very secret job for me to create this whole. There must be no hassle, no rush, because it takes time for these films to come out. Because Minions 2, The Rise of Gru, it was announced at pretty much the beginning of the year, along with Boss Baby 2, and it was predicted to probably be in July of 2020, but no, because of the coronavirus or COVID-19. And we understand that totally. And it's going to be moved to 2021. And so is Boss Baby 2. Pretty much is going to be something like that for Jamie14 the movie Free. But, as we all know, it's going to require a huge, huge effort. But don't worry, it will come out at some point. There won't be any notifications of cancelling it. But these things take time, you know. But as soon as it's done, it'll be quite a big job for me. And actually, I might be in college by the time it's all finished, because it might take over a year. It might take a few years to finish this entire film. But, of course, who knows what will happen between now and then. But that was what I needed to say. In other words, I will see you later. Goodbye, and God bless the United Kingdom. And as I hear that the UK is no longer a part of the European Union. But anyways, goodbye, and God bless.